good evening. Welcome to the Toon review for Tuesday night's show, all about the contract situation with our squad that Stato has kindly worked on for us. It's a beautiful day outside, actually, in the Midlands today. Sunshine, been really hot. Thoroughly enjoyed today. It's been a nice day. How are you, Stato? How are you, Sam?
Very well, thank you.
That was the
dog. Yeah, I know. I was like, ooh, pregnant pause or what, right? I am wonderful, thank you. It is a beautiful day up here in the northeast. I have myself a little gin on the go because it's a Wednesday evening. So yeah, really good.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Tuesday. It's not.
It is
Tuesday.
God. Maybe I've had too much gin.
Before we go any further, let's do all the official stuff before we start. If you are new to us, hit that subscribe button. Really helps out. Heading for 31,000. It's been a massive kind of push through recently. We've gone for the figures really quickly, and we're trying to get as high as we can, as quickly as we can, obviously. Like that, hit the thumbs up for the likes also, because that helps us. That attracts us to new followers also. Memberships are also available by clicking the join button and taking you to a payment route, and super chats are also available by clicking the $sign, and that does guarantee your comment to be read out. Any news today, fellas and lasses? What we got?
I think one thing, just to head up and start the conversation, the really sad passing actually of Colin Locke. For those of you who are not familiar with Colin Locke, he did a great deal of work as the Newcastle United women's photographer, was with the team for so many years, voluntarily under the Mike Ashley era as well, and just really depicted, you know, the real start of a brand new era for the lasses. You know, he was there on that day when the girls got promotion, which was absolutely phenomenal. You know, they pictured him with the cup, which was amazing, and Potsy put her medal around his neck because that's how well thought of he is. He actually did photography for the Sunderland women's team as well. His daughter played for Newcastle, so just known as just a wonderful light in the world. So really sad to see the passing of him, and I'm sure he'll be honoured in some ways around the ground and at the games. Great person for representing the women's team and showing us all those pictures if nobody could attend. And Blenchy as well, really sorry to hear about the passing of your father as well. I think in other news, I think we've had some anticipations in the world of retail with Newcastle. So we've seen the release of those, in my opinion, fabulous training tops. You've got the magpie feathers, which are absolutely gorgeous on the white owl background, and they've also done a blackout version of it as well, coming in at a pretty penny though. So watch your wallets here, lads and lasses. They are quite expensive, but really, really nice. Look great.
Talking of retail, Stato, there's been a report on Twitter from a fellow who's doing some decent work, actually, getting an article out there on how the structure is based for our financials with Adidas and JD. Do you want to expand on it, mate?
Yeah. So it's this guy, SLBSN, however we're meant to say that. A few people keep tagging me in his stuff. I do already follow him, but thank you for that anyway. It's always much appreciated. And it's quite a good article, to be fair. He's had a little bit of abuse from people, and I don't quite understand why. I'd rather we didn't abuse people for making content about the club. He's basically just written an article, what he thinks is factual about the situation, using data. So let's not abuse people unnecessarily. Well, not at all. There's no need for abuse. We can just talk normally. But he's put a lot of effort into, well, he or she, whoever it is, put a lot of effort into this, and has done quite a lot of good posts recently. So it's basically about the Adidas deal, JD merchandising, and how the money is going to be a little bit different in this case. So it's no longer a pure royalty deal. It's going to be a merchandising and retail play. So for that, all that jargon, it's going to be a little bit different in how we make the money from these. And he has a little bit of data on the general kits order. So 360,000 units of kit and other related items. So player requirements and staff. You've got the home jersey. I don't want to say home jersey. That sounds very American. 76,000 ordered, 35,000 away shirts. Yeah, just all the units. It's got the Adidas structure, rebates for beating minimum order targets, It's just a lot of jargon. The meat of the deal is down at the bottom, so I'll gloss over that. People can read that if they want to. It talks about the JD Sports exclusivity. JD has paid 7 figures per annum, not disclosed, for UK sales and distribution rights. Orders towards NUFC's Adidas Targets 2, which is fantastic. JD paid signing on fees and royalty fees. They have also been granted exclusive marketing rights, which, of course, Sports Direct and Mike Cashley was extremely frustrated about and for his however, Sports Direct, a long-time retailer of Newcastle kits, is notably excluded from the new arrangement, not given opportunity to bid, legal challenge, failed, ha 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 ha. So that's very funny. So he ends this by stating he thinks the talk of £40 million per annum is a bit misleading. Very possibly. Even gross sales are unlikely to reach £40 million, and bottom line will be a retail margin on each item sold. So, yeah, who knows? I think it'll be a reasonable amount. I've got no idea how much it's going to be, but he seems to think it's going to be a little bit less than that. So he's given a little guess in his first comment. He's guessing 27 million gross revenue. Again, I don't think any of us are going to know. It completely depends. We've got a long season ahead. You know, we could win our first 10 games out of 10, and there's a massive hype, and we sell loads more kits. Japan goes crazy. Like, we don't really know. There's a lot of different things that could happen between now and halfway through the season. But it was a very good article. So if anybody wants to know about that, go and check it out on Twitter.
Indeed. Before we go any further, we just want to say condolences to Colin Locke and his family and his friends, obviously, on his untimely passing. Also, Blenchy's father. Blenchy, you're in our thoughts, as are your family and friends, and condolences to you for that. Couple of football reports. 5 years of Joelinton. 0 to hero, it's fair to say. Sam?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And don't you just love one of those stories where it's like underdog to superhero who's put in such an unfair position, and to actually just come out now as, you know, such an honoured player of the squad, like so many fans, everybody loves him. So it's just excellent to actually have seen the progress, actually, you know, kicking on and playing in that different position. I mean, what did we have him as, like a blooming striker? Bless him. And yeah, and now he's in his rightful spot. Absolute shithouse of a man that he is now. Just his physicality, how he intimidates the opposition, you know, the skill that he has, he's just fantastic. And I'm so pleased that we've still got him at the club, re-signing that contract. I think if we cast our minds back, the deal took quite a while under Cashworth, so it was a bit, wasn't that strange? And then suddenly our lovely Amanda got involved and got the job done. So absolutely thrilled to be celebrating that anniversary today.
Stasso, you got anything to add to that?
I
mean, one good thing he did say was he's spoken to Bruno and he thinks Bruno will definitely stay this year. I mean, that's a positive thing.
I mean, yeah, that's fantastic. Obviously, he's pretty sure that he'll stay. I just love Joelinton, as I'm sure we all do. I think if you look across the leagues, in the top 5 leagues and even in the Premier League, there's very few people like him. It's very difficult to find somebody who is an absolute monster truck, who also can have quite good technical feet, go on mazy runs, but powerful runs. When he's on form, can finish. Well, to be fair, his finishing's been a lot better in the last 2 years, as we all know. He's a bit more of a leader, rough and tumble. He'll fight for the cause. He'll play central midfield. He'll drop back into the 6 in phases where he's needed. He'll play left wing, and he'll go up top if necessary still, because he can. It's just such a versatile player. And if you go and look across the 5 leagues now, the big 5 leagues, you can't really find anybody like that. You know, you've got a few that profile, I guess, physicality, like Yusuf Fofana from Monaco. Mm-hmm. Looks the same, moves similar, but I'd like to see him getting stuck on the left wing. I'm not sure he'd be able to do what Joelinton does at all.
100% not.
Even though he's got that physicality vibe about him, but Joelinton's just really unique. He's so unique as a footballer, and I'm so glad we've managed to progress. Well, Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's managed to progress him. It's the coaching team. And I know he did hire an agency in that, what was it, sort of near Christmas. He hired his own agency to help him out as well, which maybe some credit deserves to go to them. I apologize, I can't remember who they're called, but he did get some outside help, which you shouldn't have to do. You, as a professional footballer in a Premier League club, you should not have to go and hire people to help you be better at football. That's literally the club that you play for professionally has a coaching setup precisely for that. But yeah, I just love him because he's such a unique player, and it will be very sad when we eventually, because he is 27 now, isn't he? Probably close to 28. So we're only going to get, I don't know, 3 years, maybe a bit more out of him, maybe 5 if we're lucky. And he can, because what he does is quite demanding. You can't imagine a guy being able to do what he does when he's 34, 35. No. I'm sure he's going to have to take a step back and stop being Mr. Wing Boy. He's going to have to change, but hopefully we keep him for another 3 to 5 years.
100%. And another good bit of news, film has emerged. I say film, that's what the rest of the country call it. You Geordies call it film. Has emerged of Mr. Botman with the ball at his feet, kicking the ball, looking very fit. And we spoke before the show, we don't think he's going to be out till Christmas, do we now? We're thinking more October time.
Go on, Sam.
I was just trying to be polite there. Yes. And I am so thrilled to see that picture. I mean, we know that Bunce is out there as well. So I would be very, very surprised if he was in the same position and Buncey was looking on, just allowing him to do it if it wasn't safe to do so. So that really bodes well for a much earlier return than we anticipated. We said it was going to be out probably to the end of the year. Really damaging to us. He's so instrumental coming back off the operation, but actually to see him training with a ball at his feet. Whoa, yes, love that for us.
Massive, isn't it? That's how I mean, he looks really slim as well. He looks like he's slimmed down a bit. Looks really fit as well. Can't come too soon, can he? Him getting back in the side.
Yeah, of course. He the original date stated was December, January time, Christmas time, similar to what was stated with Lascelles, and we've not seen Lascelles back yet, really. So it's interesting in comparison. But we've seen him a couple of weeks ago do some light jogging and some little physio rehab exercises, and now there's a video on his Instagram which Pete Davey kindly added to Twitter of him doing some ball work and some drills, which is fantastic. And what are we now? Latter stages of July, 23rd of July. So August, September, that's another sort of 9-10 weeks. October, you're looking at 12 to 14 weeks. You've got to be careful with ACLs. Very, very, very careful. Even though he's moving well, there's a big difference between lightly doing passing drills and getting absolutely clattered by somebody at full sprint on a Premier League pitch 70 minutes into a match in December. Like it's very, very different. But he looks like he's well on track, and he does look like he's on track to come back before December. But setbacks can happen. You know, we've had a lot of players with setbacks before. I just think, you know, I would say the new benchmark would probably be October, November, but let's not get too optimistic just in case.
Fantastic.
And Billy, I think on that one, probably a question to you. Does it give you a little bit more confidence having someone like Bunce in around the team now to actually do that risk mitigation for injury? You know, given the PTSD I think we all feel from injuries last season, but have someone like that's got to be a big boost, because I think the fear is always Newcastle are going to rush players back because we're just desperate to get them back in the team. Even the players themselves want to be back.
Yep. Having
him there, that's got to reduce that risk, surely.
100%. And I think had Steve Bunce been part of the club last season, I don't think we'd even be in this situation. He wouldn't be injured. He'd have had his operation there and then. I know that Sven wanted to play in the Euros and he kind of left it off for that. But still, you know, I think the club would have put the foot down and made him have the operation. So, yeah, it's definitely a plus point having Steve Bunce there to guide him through these weeks of getting back to full fitness, no doubt about it. And safety first. Got to be. Has to be that way. We've got a few membership. Dr. Howe's been a member for 16 months. Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. RIP to Colin. Trolls, our Norwegian friend, gifted another 5 Toon Review membership. So if you have received a free membership, courtesy of Trolls, give him a thank you in the chat. And Harry's been a member for 3 months. He says, evening the three of you. Hope you're all well. Hoping for some transfer excitement soon. I think we can all echo that, Harry. Ron Peacock, good evening to you. Michael Ellison to you. Geordie B says, this is quite a strange comment. Sorry, but I believe Mitchell is trying to force Howe out so he can bring in his pal Potch. He goes on to say, someone please tell me what is so special about Potch. I personally believe he's vastly overrated. Somebody got out of bed the wrong way this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the same thing that I said about Amanda. Paul Mitchell is not an Oscar-winning actor, and I appreciate there are people that exist in high positions that are sociopaths and psychopaths. I'm aware of that. However, we have referenced several times the emotion and excitement and anticipation in his interview. He looks like he's quite passionate about this project, and he was quite happy to lean into referencing Eddie Howe's strengths and his own strengths in his career and how they align quite well. And I don't think he's not an evil person. He's not just going to randomly shoehorn in fake things into an interview that aren't true. There isn't always an ulterior motive or a conspiracy. I don't. If you do think that there's possibly an ulterior motive, fair enough. This is not something that's black or white. It is a grey area, and everybody's allowed their opinion on this. But again, I can't see Paul Mitchell giving an interview like that and half of it being put on. I'd not with the way he was speaking either. I think he's quite excited about this project, and he made such a point of emphasising Eddie's strengths match his own strengths, which is true. So I'm not concerned about that. That's fine.
I think there's two things for that for me, Alex, and I completely agree with all of the points that you've made as well. By the way, I think the emphasis on the relationship with Howe and pulling out the strengths, I think, is a nod to that sort of kinship, how they're going to be working collaboratively. This is not going to be a leadership piece. This is going to be a collaborative working environment. And the second thing for me was, you're right, picking up the body language, his tonality, the excitement. That was, for me, somebody speaking with integrity from the heart, and to do it for the amount of time that he did as well. You can maybe feign it for like 1 or 2 minutes, but actually he was so excited. His eyes were lighting up. He was gregarious in the way that he was communicating as well. And what he was saying was congruent with his body language. So I would be very, very surprised if there was an alternative motive. And as well, let's face it, Eddie's got the chips in his hand at the minute. He's got, potentially England calling, Bookie's favourite for that. He's been given the assurances that he's looked for. And hey, this is business. There's always going to be potential teething problems and conversations to be had. But these are two extremely professional individuals. I have got no concerns over this relationship working. Billy, thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I think Eddie Howe would have been kind of spoke to about it, and nothing goes on without him knowing. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're on the same page, singing from the same hymn sheet, etc. I see no dissent there at all. If I'm honest, I think people are making storms out of teacups. If I'm perfectly honest. We shall see how it transgresses, obviously, but at this precise moment in time, I think everyone's reading from the same hymn sheet. Nothing to worry about, folks. Really nothing to worry about. AC Milan are signing a centre half. Pavlovic, we spoke about that, and that could free Teo chance to come to Newcastle United. That's what people are talking about in the chat. And there is a flight coming in from Milan tomorrow that the airport warriors will be there looking at the phone.
I love when people do this.
Well, there are a few posts that they're trying to renew his contract at Milan, so it's so up in the air at the moment, and could be one of those. It would not surprise me if towards the end of the week we sign a brand new centre half that we've never even looked at, and it's nothing. It's not Dior at all. It's because there's a lot of noise around this transfer.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it, Alex?
Tor. I don't know.
I know.
We'll wait till he signs because he'll say it himself.
Everybody knows I'm dyslexic, so I really do struggle with naming players here, and I'm trying to do some recognition of it in my head, a bit like Eeyore. So I'm like Eeyore, Tito, yeah, that's how I'm gonna try.
I don't know the etymology of his surname. I don't know if he's not Italian, is he? Where's he from again?
German, isn't he?
Is he German?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Malik Chaw.
Chaw, I like that. Let's go with Billy's variant.
Chaw.
Chaw.
Dorothy Benicia says, sorry, Paul, if you believe it, that West Ham offered 30 million for Jonathan David, pulled out when the agent wanted 10 million. Then he truthfully could explain why clubs have passed on him. Yes, I saw that. Indeed.
Tour is a Senegalese and Gambian surname.
What part of Germany is that?
Well, he was born in Germany himself. It's obviously an ancestral name, Billy. Come on.
I mean, I knew they had a bit.
People are allowed ancestors. God.
They had a bit of outreach 80 odd years ago, but I didn't think they got that far.
And he's off. He's
I'm
off.
at it again. I can't help myself.
Three.
Even to Katie, hope you're well. Stat, we've got anything to talk about then? It's the contract, isn't it? And how it kind of fits in with our transfer policy, I guess. It's quite an important thing to talk about.
It is indeed. So I have prepared a list of players whose contracts are expiring in June 2025. And then also, just because I think it's quite relevant, June of 2026 as well. Because as we start to approach the end of this season, the people on the top of this list are only going to have a year left on their contract. And there are a couple of important people in this list. Gordon and Pope, I think, are standout players. So at the end of this season we're about to start, Gordon's only going to have 1 year left on his contract, which I didn't realise, but a little bit concerning if we can't get a new one drafted up. Because obviously if the vultures come a-circling, if he has another cracking season, we might find ourselves in the first situation where if he does decide to run his contract down, there's not really a lot we can do about it. So we could do with getting a new contract in ASAP, really. But I think Isak is a priority for a contract. That one concerns me. But anyway, we'll start with the 2025s. And we might as well just move some dead certs out of this list straight away. So I am going to start with Mr. Snakeboy. He's going to go over to the left-hand side, Mr. Ryan Fraser, who I can only play 70 minutes, but everyone's going to clap me for doing a really good job. Over you go. Thank you very much. So that leaves quite a few others. Dubravka, of course, we've signed a bunch of goalkeepers. I think it's all pretty well. I think we're all generally in agreement that we're going to try and get rid of him. So, no, we're not bringing back Fraser. In fact, no, now you've said that, I'm just going to move him off screen. He's not even allowed back on the graphic. Dubravka, I'm going to move over because we've signed loads of goalkeepers. I think that's also quite fair. So that moves Dubs over there. Gillespie, I mean, are we not bored of this yet?
But who will arrange the events for the players, Alex?
That is true.
Well, he can work in the background, can't he? He's not even homegrown trained at club, so he doesn't even fit. Doesn't even do quotas. Get Tim Krul back in for all I care. Like Gillespie doesn't count as homegrown trained at club at all. So Gillespie, fine if he's here for another year, whatever. Apparently he's great in training. He's a nice guy. I wish I could get paid 10 grand a week to be a nice guy and train hard, but never mind.
Oh, I'm sick of hearing that. Sorry, carry on.
So that's 2 goalkeepers. We'll get moved over there. Jamal Lewis. I'll let go on, Billy. Why don't you have a crack at this one? What are your thoughts on Jamal Lewis at the moment?
I just think they're going to win his contract down personally. I don't think anyone's going to buy him. I think this time next year he'll just go on a free.
How did his loan go?
That's Malik. By the way, it's Chow, not Jaw. It's Chow.
Chow.
Yeah, everybody's
Chow
saying Chow.
Bella. Okay, we can do that.
So he went to was it Watford? Am I making that up?
Yeah, it was Watford, yeah.
It was Watford. Okay, so Jamal Lewis last season, God, he's only 26. We really have ruined this poor lad's career. Well, although to be fair, he did get like 3 injuries back to back. He had like double groin surgery and he got absolutely destroyed. 26-year-old. Again, we all thought maybe we might be able to send him to Luton because he was born in Luton. Maybe not. 2,700 minutes. So he played a lot. 36 appearances for Watford in the Championship with 2 assists. And he did okay. I mean, it's above average in the Championship. So he's a top-end Championship player unless he can progress. And again, he's being compared to a lot of people from different leagues that are not the Big Five leagues. There you go. You got a Coventry City player, Billy.
Funny, right? You could play him.
Well, there you go. So yeah, Jamal Lewis. I mean, apparently he's still on 38 grand a week, which is not ideal. Do you reckon we could get a transfer fee for him this window and get rid of him? No,
I don't think so.
Can I say something that is pissing me off about him? Like, it's really irksome.
Go for it.
Why on earth are we taking him over to Germany? I am pretty positive that I have seen him in the photos at the training.
He was in the starting lineup in the behind closed doors game.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Is this a little bit of, I don't know, PR shop window stuff? Like, why are we taking him? Like, get the academy lads over there. Like, can you imagine that experience for the young talent that we've just brought in? What the hell are we taking Deadwood over for that experience for? Like a little tip of the cap. Thank you. No, jog on. It's really bothering us. Really bothering us.
No, it never shows, Sam, to be fair.
I know. I'm really subtle, but it's just academy. Get the lads in. Anyway.
I think his wages it's what's stopping any transfer. Nearly 40k. People in Championship ain't going to pay that.
Nah.
For a left back, are they? In the Championship? No way.
Well, a left winger, according to Eddie Howe last pre-season. I mean, we're either going to get... Surely we can get something for him, even if it's like 850k plus we'll pay 50% of his wages. Surely it's better than... It's more money than we would have just letting his contract run down. But maybe a lot of clubs are just like, nah, no. Maybe there's no interest at all. It's just a little cut to clip of his agent sat in an office with a phone that's just never rings, just dusty. I don't know. I feel sorry for him because I think he had so much potential. I don't know if you guys remember when Eddie Howe first came in and he marked Mo Salah for about half an hour, and he was starting to have him on toast. He was looking good. He was making runs. Mo Salah got pegged back, and we were like, "Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe we can get something out of Jamal Lewis." And then he just broke for like 18 months.
His hamstring ping, didn't it?
Yeah, and then it was too late for him. It was too late. By the time he got fit again, the ship had sailed. We'd bought Target, and we'd got Dan Burn in, and it's just gone. But he's still only 26 years old, so I don't know. I mean, I guess we're going to move him over there, but I feel sorry for him, and I think he can be an okay player at a certain level. If he can kick on a little bit, maybe even bottom end of the Premier League. But well, I don't know. Maybe I'm being optimistic there.
Yes, you are, Alex. No free pass. Get him in the junk pile.
Yeah, he's over there. He's over with the keepers.
I saw him play for Northern Ireland against Portugal, and marked, albeit slightly over the top at that time, Cristiano Ronaldo out the game. Didn't give him a kick. Outstanding. I thought, Christ, this kid's good. And then, as Alex said, he played the game against Liverpool. He was brilliant, and then his hamstring went ping. I don't think he's played for since hardly, apart from maybe a Carabao Cup tie. Did he play at Tranmere? I think he may have done.
Well, it was the pre-season that got me. It was the pre-season where we played like Mainz and 1860 München and all of that. He started him. Oh no, it wasn't that one. It was the one after. It was last year, wasn't it? No. Ignore me. Yeah. It was last season's pre-season when we started against Gateshead. I'm pretty sure Jamal Lewis played every single pre-season match. Started all of them, I'm pretty sure. And then just wasn't involved at all. So I just thought it was a bit odd. I don't know. I feel sorry for the kid, but at the same time, we need to kick on. We've got so much in wages just hanging out the back of this squad in such a bad way. And it is kind of, we're 3 years on now. It's stunting growth. I mean, may I remind us of a certain name up there as well? We'll get to him. But there's still people in this team that we've not seen in a black and white shirt for about 2 years, and they're still on the books. It's mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll do Wilson last because he's a biggie. Joe White, everyone.
Yeah, I think he'll get a new contract.
Yeah, I kind of suspect that he will as well. He's been, I was about to say loitering around the squad.
Loitering. I mean, he doesn't even come up on FB Ref.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does. There he is. He doesn't even have a picture. FB ref, come on, that's not fair.
I mean, Eddie must be seeing something in Joe White. Must be. He's been warming the bench for a while. He's been around the club for a long time. I'm not seeing those moments of brilliance. But then again, it probably takes opportunities. Maybe he's getting more training time with the squad. Interesting one.
He's 21. I think he's got time. I think we'll
he does.
We do have to register him in the squad, though, which is a little bit irritating.
That is true.
Because he's not young. Well, I say he's not young. He is, but he's not in the cut-off where we, Miley, we don't have to register. So it's like, yeah, fine, whatever, free hit. Put him in the squad. Doesn't take up a space. We'll play him when we need to play him. We'll try and develop him. Whereas Joe White is going to take up a squad space. And if we moan about people like Gillespie, I have to moan about people like Joe White. Like, is there a plan for him? I mean, he performed well in League Two. So did Eddie Anderson, once upon a time. He's left-footed. He's 6'1". He's got a bit of physicality about him. He played as the main maestro in the middle for Crewe and did pretty well. Eddie Howe's kind of used him in bits. He's gone with them in pre-season in that first in the starting lineup in this behind closed doors friendly. He started in midfield. Maybe. I mean, ideally, we need a journalist to ask this question instead of writing funny articles all the time. Ask about Joe White or Jamal Lewis. Are they going to stay and what's the plan? Are you going to assess them? I mean, this is his career to date. If anybody's interested. I mean, he played 60. He got 16 appearances at Exeter City in League One when he was 19. He got 15 appearances in League Two for Hartlepool. Again, he was a teenager at that point, and since he's kind of grown up, it's been odds and sods plus a Crewe loan where he got 1,200 minutes.
I guess he's got this year to prove himself, hasn't he? If he gets minutes. Maybe he's the direct replacement for Eddie Anderson. I don't know. But I think he's got this year to prove himself. But I think he'll get a couple of years contract anyway.
I don't really know his wages either, but I can't imagine it's any more than 5 or 10k at the moment.
No, it won't be high, I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, I think we'll probably offer him some sort of contract, but I think he needs to get a few minutes, maybe Carabao Cup games, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a decent shout.
He thinks we should loan him out and see if he blows up. Yeah. Maybe. He's probably not breaking the bank, is he? So are we sticking him over this side? Yeah, is this going to be the good side?
Yeah, I think so.
Begrudgingly, yes.
Begrudgingly. Poor Joe.
Oh, memories keep you warm. Oh, no, they don't. Pity pile. Oh, we'll have a pity pile. Yeah, there we go.
Stick ice in the chat as well. Can you give us a little bit of calm? Yeah, we'll make some marquee signings, but don't worry about it. Let's just chill in the chat. Yeah, we're not going to sign Kubo. If we do, clip that. But we're not going to sign Kubo. It's fine. Sean Longstaff.
This will be an interesting one. Yeah.
Anybody want to start this off?
Well, I would keep him personally.
Okay.
I'd offer him a 3-year and maybe sell him after one of those if he has a good season next year. I think he's going to start the season because Tonali isn't ready to come back to the end of August. So I think he starts the season. It's up to him then. But
I mean, we've just sold a homegrown trained at club in Anderson. So
yeah, I think he definitely gets into the contract.
Yeah, that's probably a good indication, actually. And I mean, he did seem to pick up at the end of last season, unbeknown to us when we were slating him, playing with an ankle injury, having multiple injections in just to get us through a game and contribute to the squad. Albeit we all had our opinions about him at the time. I think you're right, Billy. I think probably expectations are running high, and it's not helped by having our ownership with a great deal of money in the bank. We need to remember we're not allowed to spend all of that money. And, this is probably going to be a bit of a slower burner for us while we're getting rid and tocking up those years that need to come off. So, yeah, I think you're probably right, Billy. I think we'll probably end up keeping him. I do hope he has a brilliant season because we've seen some moments of brilliance from him.
What's his How much is he on, Stoke? What's his? I mean, he might have offers
I'd
from
imagine
elsewhere.
35 or 40, something like that. He is on. It doesn't say. Nope.
Does that say 50 at the top?
Oh, it does. Yeah, there you go. 50. Okay, apparently he's on 50. So yeah, 26 years old. I mean, by Christmas time, he's going to be 27. So he's not a spring chicken anymore. This is peak Sean Longstaff right now. Appreciate he was playing through injury, but again, the fact that we've sold. I mean, to be fair to him, he did get 6 goals and 2 assists. So, but we did also watch him. And a goal in the Champions League. But then again, we did actually watch him with our own eyes. So that
there is
fills
that
in the rest of the gaps. I mean, my personal opinion on Longstaff would be don't shoot me for this, guys. Don't shoot me for this. I would give him another contract. And I would like to see him used as a squad player. 20 appearances a season tops, 25 appearances, and he is not a starter. That needs to be Tonali in that midfield.
Yes.
Every single game possible. Sean is not meant to be there all the time. He's meant to be a rotation player who we can keep fit and who can have a better impact and not be injured. He meets quotas. We can keep him around, and then if we go, oh no, we need a bit of money, we can cash in pure profit. He'll have a contract length, and we can just cash in if necessary. So if at the end of next season, like you said, Billy, give him a 3-year, and then if at the end of next season we do need a bit of money to push on in the following summer, then we sell Sean Longstaff as a 27-year-old off the back of maybe a slightly better season. And then that's 1 year closer to the current academy lot aging into homegrown trained at club because they've been there for a bit longer. So we just, and I mentioned this in a show a few months ago, I don't know if you remember, we just need to nurse this squad along until it dies off and we can get that current academy crop into homegrown trained at club. We need Harrison, Sanusi, we need all of those to start counting as homegrown trained at club and grow up. But we've got to wait. We can't time machine them. So we need players like Sean for the moment to get us to that point. We can't just shoehorn it. We can't just do a Chelsea. I appreciate it's working. I guess kind of. I just think it makes sense. And I know a lot of people are probably frustrated with maybe keeping Sean, but we've sold Anderson. So we're a little bit backed into a corner with that. We can't get rid of all of our homegrown trained at club. We need it's good to have a core of Geordies and English players to a point. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look at how good the squad is because of the cohesion and leadership. You know, we maybe take that a bit for granted. If you take all of those pieces out, maybe the Jenga tower falls down. Like, you can't just plop Tonali's all over the place because you're quite quiet people. That's just my thoughts on it anyway.
I agree. Mark says, would rather have sold Longstaff than Anderson. You wouldn't have got the money for Longstaff, though, would you? I mean, Anderson's been bought for as much potential as anything in his youth. You just wouldn't get the money for Longstaff, so that's probably why that didn't happen. Right, get back to the chart, Alex. Who's next? We're keeping Longstaff then.
Are we moving Longstaff over there for now?
Yeah, pick a pile.
It's funny because we've been so harsh to him this year and we're moving him over there.
Do you remember, though, we did our roundup of how we'd scored and rated players? We were all quite surprised with what he turned out to get when we actually re-reviewed all of the scores that were collated. So
yeah, we did.
On the eye, we're still shite, though.
I mean, he did get more than 20 in one of the games as well. So
I did.
Emil Kraft is up next.
How old's he now, Stasso? Get on a bit, isn't he?
He's got to be 29 now, surely. He is 29. Oh, he's actually going to be 30 next week. He's 30 next week. So I think this is it for Emil. Bless him. He doesn't look 30, does he?
No, 55k a week. Yeah, I think he sees his contract out and moves on. Emil Henry Christopher Kraft.
Is how your middle name's Henry Christopher? I didn't know that.
Chris Kraft.
Tell you what, quiz question: who did we buy him from?
Emil Kraft.
I've got no idea.
Oh, I've forgotten.
I think it was Amiens in
Somewhere in
France.
France, yeah.
I think I could be wrong.
Amen to that.
Yeah, from Ligue 1. And then he was, to be fair, he's played in a lot of good leagues. He played for Bologna and Serie A for 3 seasons, and then in Ligue 1, and then we decided to buy him. And I mean, he's never played more than 1,600 minutes in the Prem. He's always been a bit part player, bless him. Yeah, I think I agree. I think this guy been with the squad for a long time, gets the club, versatile. He's kind of like how do I not be offensive here? It's kind of like a slightly lower version of what Murphy does for us in a defensive capacity, in that he'll smile. He doesn't care when he plays. Well, he probably does, but he's okay with it. He doesn't kick off. He'll play where he's needed. He'll play when he's needed, and he'll be solid. So just a slightly lesser tier than what Murphy provides for us now. So yeah, I guess useful to have in the squad for the rest of the season, and then let it expire. That would be my thought.
Alex, have you just quietly created a Murphy barometer for rating players? On a scale of 1 to Murphy, where is he?
Well, I guess, we'll put Murph right in the middle.
Right, got it. He's the median.
No, I think we do Jacob Murphy dirty. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he is.
And again, the data's all over the shop because he just plays wherever he's told to. All right, so we'll move Kraft over there then. Billy, are we all right with that?
Oh no, I think he goes.
You think he goes?
Oh.
Yeah, I think he'll come to the end of his contract and that'll be it. That's next. Is that next season?
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, I guess. Okay, I guess if we're measuring by that metric, so okay. I mean, I guess he's kind of in the middle then, because we're not going to renew him. We'll let him see out his contract.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Gillespie will go at the end of his contract. Okay, maybe we need a middle category. Okay, we need a middle category. Right. So Dubravka and Lewis, I think we're going to try and sell now.
Yes.
Agreed.
Gillespie and Kraft, we will just keep until they expire. Well, their contract expires, not them. And then White and Longstaff, we will possibly extend. There you go. There's the 3 baskets. We'll put them in 3 different baskets.
Lovely.
Fabian Schär.
I think he'll go at the end of the season. I think he's in the middle basket.
Do you think it doesn't depend on what we do with bringing in a centre half, and also what happens with Jamal Lascelles?
Yeah, I just think he's get to the age now. He all said he wants to go back to Switzerland to finish his career at the club that he started out. I can't think what it's called, but I just think 34 next season, end of next season. I think that'll be the time for him to move on.
That for me, it's what's left in the tank. And wasn't it last year that he sought and was granted permission to be some sort of directional guidance for the club that he actually came from as well, like a bit of a sort of evangelist role that he had.
Should we have a look at where that was?
Yeah.
Fabian Schär. So he started at Willem Youth. Unless he's going back even further than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and dig out the article on it. He got like a special permission to say that obviously it wouldn't detract from his training and from Newcastle United at all. It was more of a sort of an advocacy role, but said that he wanted to go back when he did look to hang up his boots. I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. He's magic. But it's going to be one of those cases of what's left in the tank for him.
See, I think we extend him another year.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but don't you find though when players start to age out, they can have that time when they just maybe hit a season and then it's not the same performance and it falls off a cliff. I really hope it doesn't happen with him, but
yes. However, he would be rotated with his replacement or competitor. Right. So my thoughts here are Emil Kraft is going to be gone in the same timeline.
Yeah.
And Lascelles, I think, will also go, but we'll get to that. Therefore, that's 2 players who can play right-sided centre-half in your squad gone. Do you let 3 people from the squad who all play the same position all go in the same summer? I think that's negligent. I think that's bad. I would extend, even if we bought another centre-half now, I would still keep Cher an additional season and say, look, you're fantastic. We want you to be a leader, a mentor. Stay for 1 more year after this season. Spread your minutes about. Hopefully we qualify for some sort of Europe next season as well. And then he can play 20, 30 appearances. I would prefer that, because I don't want to lose Lascelles, Cher and Kraft all in one window. I think that's too many. You're going to lose the bottom end of your squad there completely. And then if we have an injury season, whilst we're back in Europe again, it's going to get real tough.
Yeah, that makes sense, Alex.
Yeah, you've sold it.
Still got quality, right? Don't you think, Billy?
You've sold it. Get him in the right on column then, in the right on basket.
I mean, it might not work like that, but again, I think we can all agree Lascelles is probably gone. Right, yeah, let's do Lascelles now. Go on, then we'll bring Lascelles. What do we think about Lascelles? Because this is kind of a 2-bit conversation.
Get him gone.
I think he wants to be. I think he'll go. I think another year, which has actually been quite good for him because he's got injured. And I think he'll get a nice little payday when he leaves at the end of the next season, if I'm perfectly honest. And he probably deserves it as well. I'm a great fan of Lascelles' professionalism, I've got to say.
Yeah, I agree. Stepped up when he needed to, became a real fantastic leader, captaincy. You could see it on the pitch as well, leader in the dressing room. But again, in injury now, let him run it out.
He is club captain. Let's do him some justice, shall we? Well, I'll say that as I can't spell his name.
Just start with a semicolon, that's for certain.
There we go.
All respect to him there.
I didn't realise he was born in Derby. I thought he was born in specifically born in Nottingham. Never mind. I mean, yeah, he's approaching. He's going to be 31 around Christmas time. To be fair, he got over 1,000 minutes for us last season and 450 minutes in the Champions League. If you'd have said to me 3 years ago, Lascelles is going to play nearly 500 minutes in the Champions League in a couple of years' time, I would have walked out the room giggling at you. So that is funny. How did he actually do? I mean, he just
good at winning the ball.
Won the ball in the air, and then
good lad. Good for you, son.
In the other penalty area.
Very much. Go on, lad. Go get your head on that. Yeah. Kind of. It just reminds me of Peter Kay. That very Peter Kay kind of statistics. Have it. Pass completion percentage. I mean, it's better. If a few of you do remember the Lack and Maka meltdown from a few years ago, when we did that show, his pass completion rate was in the 1st percentile. And no, that's not the good way. That's the bad way. He's in the bottom 1% of people in Europe for passing accuracy. It was abysmal. So better. The fact that he's middle of the park for his passing now and above average in passes attempted because we see a lot more of the ball. Fantastic. And I agree with Billy. I think a cheeky little move to Southampton-y, Foresty kind of move, I think would work for him. I think he's still good enough for the Prem. Absolutely. Considering some of the centre-halves that step foot in the Premier League nowadays, I think Lascelles is definitely still good enough now. I can't believe I'm saying that based on my opinion from 3 years ago. But he's a leader, he's experienced, his passing improved, his speed. It does depend on how he is post ACL. It was a bad injury. I guess there'll be reassessments. Does he qualify for a testimonial? That is a good shout. Oh, look at his stat match. You've got Lenormand on there. Fantastic. Well, and Adarabioyo, there we go, who went to Chelsea. Tosin. Testimonial. So he's been here.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned
it. He does qualify for a testimonial. Oh, no, maybe not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If he completes next season, that is 10 full seasons with the club.
Yeah,
So
end of next season, testimonial. Thank you very much, Jamal. Best of luck in your future. That's what I say.
yeah, I'd agree there. I'd love for him to have a testimonial. He stepped in as a 21-year-old. I think Rafa gave him the armband pretty much straight away in the championship, pretty quick. So he really stepped up when we needed him, and he's adapted himself to suit the club. He slimmed down. I say slimmed down. He wasn't fat. I think he's lost a little bit of muscle to make himself more agile. And he's improved his passing, his positioning. Yeah,
100%.
got nothing but time for the club captain. I think he deserves another season and then a good move for him, hopefully.
Yeah, middle basket for him. Then let's do a couple of super chats. Ian Fleming's been a member for 23 months. Thanks for that, buddy. Sorry for your loss, Blench. He says, David T, been a member for 18 months. Get in Sam more rants, please. Paul has calmed down in his old age. And a £2 super chat from Peter Garthwaite. The Chronicle are saying the FA wants Eddie Howe talks. Well, of course they do. Thanks for your super chat anyway. Who's next then? Who we got next? Are we going Trippier, Byrne or Wilson?
Well, we're getting to some controversial ones here. Kieran Trippier, I think, will go this window.
So do I.
Agreed.
Okay, that was less controversial than I
There we
thought.
go.
Easy peasy. I wouldn't
Elaborate.
mind.
Why?
Well, I'd like him to stay, and maybe again, same as a Fabian Schär, spread his minutes about, be a leader, be a mentor, teach the fullbacks, help with set pieces. His experience is just fantastic. He's been to Champions League finals, European finals. He's just amazing. He really is. And there's nothing wrong with having 20, 30 appearances out of him. It just depends what he wants. I think he possibly still wants to play consistently. He mentioned in his recent podcast appearance, he would be happy to drop down into the Championship and even lower because he's happy to just keep playing football, which is admirable. I respect that. So I think that kind of puts the nail in the coffin, and that I think he will keep moving so he can keep playing at kind of the minutes he wants to play. And Tino has definitely started breathing down his neck in the last 6 to 12 months with some fantastic performances. You know, the first 3 times we saw Tino was 3 man of the match performances in the Carabao Cup. He was just unplayable. So there'll be a little bit of transfer value for him as well. He's on quite high wages. It would help. You know, Saudi, Turkey, somebody just mentioned Galatasaray. Yeah, that sounds about right. Turkey and
Milan as well. Linked. And Bayern, of course. So maybe a bidding war. We could get 50 million for him at this rate.
People said he wouldn't move because of his family. I get that. I thought that as well, because I thought the whole reason him coming back was to be closer to all the family of his missus and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe.
I think for me, and I'm not saying this is my perspective, I would like him to stay, and I do think his experience and leadership qualities are worth his wages. The argument for me would be, is it worth missing out on a better payday? Are we missing out on that revenue from getting him out now and getting his wages off the books? That's not my perspective. I would keep him for his qualities and what he could bring to the rest of the squad. Rotational, great.
I mean, 11 goal contributions from a fullback is not bad, is it? Somebody who's nearly 34. God,
he had them by October, didn't he, virtually? I mean, his assist was ridiculous until October. Then unfortunately for him, he went down the pan.
Yeah, 99th percentile in Europe for assists. 95th percentile in shot creating actions. But again, everything came through Trippier. Everything. Defensive stats are fantastic. Progressive passes are just elite. But he's nearly 34. So, yeah, it's one of those. I'm going to say if we get a good enough offer, we let him go. However, we're getting to that stage now where last season and the season before, we were getting rid of players from the old regime. Now we're getting a few years down the line. We're actually moving players on that we bought under Eddie Howe. And it's It's
Wild,
sad
isn't
in a
it?
way because they were part of the process, and it still feels quite recent, I think, for all of us. So it feels a bit too soon.
I think what
And that
Southern
was
George says there is right, but I think that's the reason why he leaves. I think he wants to be starting. I think at 33, 34, he wants to be playing regular football and not being in industry to Livramento, which he will be at Newcastle United.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're all in agreement then. I think he goes.
Yeah. Thanks very much. So he's had a fantastic 3 years with us, and
indeed
the first signing
talisman.
of the new regime, and 100%
Yeah.
that's the word I was looking for, talisman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Burn.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I didn't even realise his contract ran out at the end of this year.
I think he'll get a year.
I think he'll get the extension. I do.
Yeah, I think he'll get a year.
Yeah, I agree. I think he
I
gets.
think
the
since we brought Hall in and Hall started to get the minutes, he's in a much better positionally now, taking on the attacks defensively. Yes, sometimes he just makes crazy runs that he shouldn't be making, but he'll still have a lot to offer. Big local voice in the dressing room. You can't really put a price on that. Maybe you can. Maybe it's his wages for the year, but an extension all the same.
Okay, the big one, Callum Wilson.
Yeah, Alexander Ludi says Tino is weak on back post crosses. Well, so is Kieran Trippier. So.
I thought that as soon as he posted it. To be fair, I had a head cinema playing of all the back post crosses that Trippier's missed because it's quite a few. What do we think about Callum then?
This one's tough. Oh, I don't think we're giving him an operation to solve all his injury problems to get rid of him. But then again, I don't think we're going to give him an extension either. So middle for me. I think we'll just win his contract out.
I feel exactly the same way. I think we've given him preventative surgery so we can use him, not sell him. So I think he stays until the end of 2025. Sam?
Forgive me if you can hear the moisture in my eyes as they roll back into my head. But yeah, we're going to keep him. I think Eddie's recently come out with a statement of support and loyalty as well there. And yeah, do you know what? When he can do the job and he's not broken into 1,000 shards of effing glass, yes, he can do it. Yeah, middle
for diddle.
I'm moving Fraser back onto the graphic just because we need to. Yeah, he had to sit on the bench for that bit. Right, so we'll have a quick reference to these players above. This is maybe for another show. We could possibly talk about this. Nick Pope, at the end of this season, will only have 1 year left. Then we will probably readdress this whole goalkeeper conversation again because Ruddy only has 1 year. I haven't put Ruddy on this list, by the way. It's very possible he should be on this list. I don't think we will be extending 38-year-old John Ruddy's contract, though, although we may. Who knows?
I'm going to need more gin if that happens.
And Odi, of course, the Greek guy. I'm not sure how long he signed for, but it's definitely at least more than a year, I would say. So we're not even going to bother talking about that one. So there is a conversation to be had about Pope. Maybe we're going to delay. Maybe that was the whole point in bringing in these goalkeepers currently, is that the search for number one is going to get pushed to next summer instead of this summer. And then Pope will have a year. So we'll probably move him on or keep him as a number two if he wants to. It depends. Gordon, are we worried about Gordon only having a year at the end of this one?
I think we'll re-sign.
I think we'll try and get him to sign another one, yeah. And I think that will speak volumes of whether he signs it or not. We'll kind of know then.
What about Miggy?
Hopefully he's sold this year.
This row of players here is well, Matt Targett's on this list as well. Still 2 years left. And Isaac Hayden, by the way, is not out of contract next year. It's the year after. He's still got 2 years left.
It's appalling business. Appalling.
That's my catch for you. That's my catch for you.
So, I mean, if we can, I don't even think we can get him in this list. I mean, we'll ignore 2026. We'll do this when Paul's back. Yeah. We'll have because it's so much harder. We'll wait till Paul comes back. We'll do some polls and we'll go through the 2026 ones because it's a nightmare. Right. So as things stand, then to round us up with the 2025s, we are gonna sell these 4 according to us. This is what we think is going to happen. So that would free up approximately Dubs plus Lewis is about 85k. Trippier is 120, so that's 205. Fraser's on 35 to 45. So you're looking at just shy of 250,000 a week wages just off these 4, which is a good chunk. However, we may not be able to get the full amount of salary off the books straight away, especially with Jamal Lewis. He's on 38 grand a week. I'm not sure people are going to play ball with that. Dubs, again, might dig his heels in about salary because if somebody offers him like 15, he's like, no, I'm on 45 here. I'm not moving. Tricky, but could free us up a lot of wages for this transfer window that we're currently in and give us a bit more in the kitty. So that could be really, really cool. Somebody's mentioned Alex Murphy. I don't know his contract length. It doesn't say it on Transfermarkt, and he's a youngster. So I think that's a given. He'll get extended, go out on loan, be involved. Qual, on the other hand, I think is a bit further down the line than Alex Murphy. I don't know if you guys would agree with me.
I do, yeah.
I think Qual is on last chance saloon. I think this season is either a loan or...
Yeah.
And then if we do have to sell him, I think we'll make a profit on 350k. So it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll just get money back. It's a shame.
I agree. I think we might keep him in house because how are we going to see him otherwise? I think you might see him in a Carabao Cup game.
I've been really unimpressed with him when I've seen him recently. I
so have I. Didn't even know,
really
know what a football is, does he?
Hey, those Australian games. The flashbacks.
So it is a shame.
Like he didn't know what a football was, did he? You know.
Lad, man.
So that's transfer fees plus 240 odd K in wages for this transfer window. And then these 4 in the following summer would be a nice chunk of wages as well. Of course, we wouldn't be getting transfer fees off 4 people who have expiring contracts. So what is that? What's that? 10? What's Craft on? 50 odd. The sales is probably 40, 50 odd. And Wilson, yeah, again, you're looking at a couple of 100k in wages saved the following season as well. So I don't feel as bad about this as I did before we started this show. I'm not going to lie. I think there's definitely a plan. The things that concern me are Isaac Hayden and Matt Target. Those are 2 that really, really concern me. I don't know what we're going to do with them. We're paying them. They're here. Miggy is either going to stay and be useful or go, one or the other. But Hayden and Target are two big issues for me. What are we going to do with them?
I'd like to see Hayden go, but again, it's the same thing with Jamal Lewis for me. Except Jamal Lewis obviously has got less of a contract to run down. Who's going to buy him? When they can loan him and get the wages paid. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Matt Target is not even... He didn't even go to Germany, did he? I think he's... I don't know why. Is he injured again, is he? Or still?
I don't think he's recovered. I
never know if it's again or still. I don't know what word to use with Matt Target. That's concerning. Like,
gosh.
It is, yeah. But again, 100k a week, a lot of money for someone that hardly plays, and who's going to want to pay that?
I wouldn't pay you 50k a week for him. Never mind 100. Concerning. Anyway, we haven't asked for anybody to like and subscribe, by the way, so far this show. So if you have enjoyed what you've seen with the contract talks, we will do another show on the 2026 stuff when Paul returns. So please hit the thumbs up and like it if you've enjoyed this show, because we'll do some more in this format. Make sure you subscribe, and then I'll pass you over to Billy to do hosting duties.
No, I'll pass you down to Sam to do the voting duties. Go on, Sam.
Oh, is this my job now? That's cute. Yes, everybody and your dogs, please, please, please vote for TTR in the Football Content Awards 2024. Desperate to get back there again. And you need to head to the description below. Vote for the Toon review, Best Content Creator / Premier League category. Please, please vote and refresh and vote again. Play cash, refresh, vote. Vote.
Brilliant. So you do as they say. They're award winning to do it. Do it. thanks ever so much for watching, guys. It's been a great show. Thanks to the mods for keeping the chat in check. And thank you to Sam and Stato for the work he's done on these contracts, and Sam for her grace and dignity, as always. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, guys. We'll see you Thursday for the next show. Good night, everyone.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out to breathe.